Have you ever thought about how much we depend on technology every single day? We use phones to talk, apps to cook, GPS to travel, and machines to clean. Life feels easy, right? But what if one day all of it stopped working? What if your phone died while you were lost in the forest? What if the power went out and you had no way to cook or stay warm? Would you know what to do? The truth is, many of us have forgotten how people lived before technology. Our grandparents and their grandparents knew how to survive with nothing but nature. They made fire with rocks, found food in the wild, and built shelters with their bare hands. These are not just old stories, these are real skills that could save your life one day. So are you ready to learn how to survive like our ancestors? In this video, we'll bring back these lost skills, starting with one of the most powerful and life-saving tools of all time, fire. If you're curious about real survival and want to learn more forgotten skills, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Mastering Fire for Life's Challenges. Fire, the ancient lifeline. Fire is one of the biggest gifts in human history. Our ancestors used fire to cook food, stay warm, keep wild animals away, and see in the dark. Without fire, life would have been very hard. That's why many ancient people treated fire as something holy. Back then, making fire wasn't easy. There were no lighters or matches. People had to create sparks with stones or wood and turn them into flames. But once the fire was lit, it helped them cook, boil water, and survive cold nights. Old cave drawings often show people sitting around a fire. It wasn't just for warmth, it was for safety, cooking, and coming together as a group. Fire was truly a lifeline for early humans. Ancient ways to make fire. Flint and steel. One of the oldest ways to make fire was with flint and steel. Flint is a hard rock. When you hit it against a steel piece, it makes sparks. People would catch those sparks on dry grass or bark, then gently blow on it until it became a flame. It takes some practice, but it works in most weather. Bow drill. The bow drill was used by many ancient groups. It has a bow, a stick, called a spindle, a flat wood piece, fireboard, and a handhold. Moving the bow makes the spindle spin fast. This creates heat and a tiny ember. That ember is put into dry leaves and blown into a fire. It needs patience and some strength, but it works. Fire plow. This method was common in places like Polynesia. A stick, the plow, is rubbed in a groove on flat wood. The rubbing creates heat, and small wood dust catches fire. This also needs dry materials and strong hands, but it's clever and simple. These old ways of making fire show how smart and connected to nature our ancestors were. They didn't have machines. They learned how to work with what they had and treated fire with deep respect. Fire in modern times. Today, we just click a lighter or use matches to make fire. But what if your lighter doesn't work? What if you're in the forest, it's cold, and you have no modern tools? In such times, knowing old fire-making methods can save your life. If you have flint and steel, some dry grass, and know what to do, you can make a fire. That fire can keep you warm, cook your food, and even protect you from animals. Learning these skills gives you confidence. You feel ready for anything, and it connects you to the past, to the people who made fire with their hands and survived in wild places. Finding food in the wild. Understanding nature's grocery store. Today, we just go to a shop or order food online when we're hungry, but in ancient times, people had to search for food in forests, rivers, and open land. They knew which plants were safe, where to find water, and how to hunt or fish. Nature was their supermarket, and they had to learn it well to stay alive. Knowing how to find food in the wild is a powerful survival skill, but be careful, not everything that looks good is safe. Some plants and berries can be poisonous. That's why you must learn which ones are safe to eat. Edible plants and berries. In the wild, there are several safe plants you can find that can help you stay healthy. Dandelions are great because you can eat the leaves, flowers, and even the roots. Clover is another one that's safe to eat either raw or cooked. Wild garlic, which has a familiar garlic smell, grows near rivers and can be a tasty addition to your food. Berries like blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries are also usually safe to eat, but always be sure before eating any wild berry. Knowing how to spot these safe plants can help keep you strong and healthy in a survival situation. It's an important skill to have when you're out in the wild. Hunting and fishing. Long ago, people hunted animals and caught fish to feed themselves. They used simple tools like spears, traps, and hooks made from bones. They respected nature and used every part of the animal for food, clothing, and shelter. Even today, knowing how to catch a fish or trap small animals is useful. Fishing is one of the easiest ways to get food in the wild. All you need is a hook, some string, and a little luck. Also, it's important to cook meat or fish properly. Boiling or roasting helps kill bad germs and makes the food safer to eat. Finding and purifying water. Water is life. You can survive for weeks without food, but only a few days without water. That's why clean water is the first thing you need in a survival situation. Long ago, people found water in rivers, lakes, underground springs, and even plants. They learned to look for signs of water in nature. Natural water sources. When you're out in the wild, finding clean water is super important. One good trick is to follow animal tracks because animals usually go where water is. You can also look for green plants as they often grow near water sources. If you find a dry riverbed, try digging a bit. Sometimes water is hidden underneath. Rainwater is another great option. You can collect it using leaves, containers, or even a plastic sheet if you have one. But remember, even if the water looks clean, it might still have germs that can make you sick. Always try to clean the water before drinking it to stay safe and healthy. Purifying water. To clean water using old methods, the simplest way is to boil it for at least 5 minutes. Boiling kills most harmful germs and makes the water safer to drink. If you need to filter out dirt or debris, you can use a cloth to strain it. Another effective method is using charcoal and sand to create a natural filter, and it will help remove impurities. While modern survival kits may come with water purification tablets or portable filters, knowing how to clean water using natural methods is always a helpful backup in case you don't have access to modern tools. Building a shelter. Shelter keeps you safe. A shelter protects you from rain, wind, cold, and animals. It also gives you a safe place to rest. Our ancestors built shelters using sticks, leaves, mud, and stones. They used whatever nature gave them. Types of survival shelters. You can build some simple shelters to stay safe and protected in the wild. A lean-to shelter is made by leaning sticks against a big rock or log and covering them with leaves or grass. Another option is a debris hut, which is a small frame of sticks covered with leaves and soft plants. If you have a plastic sheet or tarp, you can quickly make a shelter by tying it between trees to create a roof. It's important to pick a safe spot when building your shelter. Avoid areas that might flood, windy hilltops, or animal paths. Choose flat, dry ground, and use the materials you find around you. Building a shelter like this shows just how clever and resourceful people can be, even when they only have simple tools and natural materials to work with. Navigation without a map? Finding your way like the ancients. Before phones, maps, or GPS, people used nature to find their way. They followed the sun, stars, and animal trails. They watched the sky, the trees, and the land. You can do the same if you know what to look for. Natural navigation tips. Here are some easy ways to find your way without a map. First, remember that the sun always rises in the east and sets in the west. At night, the North Star points north if you're in the northern hemisphere. Another tip is to look at trees. Moss often grows on the north side of them. Also, anthills usually face the sun. By paying close attention to these natural signs, you can figure out which way you're going and avoid getting lost. The best part? These skills don't need any batteries, just your time and practice. So what did we really learn today? Survival isn't just about staying alive when things go wrong. It's also about remembering where we came from. It's about learning how to live with nature, how to trust your hands, your heart, and your mind, just like our ancestors did. They didn't have phones, cars, or electricity, Yet they knew how to make fire, find food, build shelters, and read the sky. Their life was tough, but full of knowledge and connection. Don't you think we've lost some of that? Don't you think it's time we bring it back? Even if we don't use these skills every day, learning them gives us confidence. It makes us stronger and more independent, and it helps us feel closer to the people who lived before us, the ones whose spirit still lives in the forests, rivers, stars, and flames. So are you ready to keep learning and reconnecting with the old ways? If this inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to join us on this journey back to nature and human strength.